I love the Looney Tunes. They were my favorite classic cartoons growing up, and I still love them to this very day. But much like Disney is handling the Muppets, the Tunes have been going through hurtful treatment from a certain CEO of their home studio, Warner Brothers. And if you've seen the joke I made in my Moana 2 review, you know what I'm talking about. Aside from destroying the Looney Tunes legacy and animation, this guy clearly hates family entertainment and tries to make the studio to be more for adults, even though the Tunes are also for all ages. While the Disney cartoons are easily made for children, the Looney Tunes has a lot of things that adults can enjoy. The massive violence, the witty humor, the clever wordplay, and the unique personality of the characters. At least Coyote vs. Acme is coming back and finally going to be released in theaters. But other than that, The Day the Earth Blew Up is the first original Looney Tunes animated movie that also get a chance to release in theaters, and thank God for Ketchup Entertainment for saving this, as well as Coyote vs. Acme. They actually cared about the Tunes and wanted to bring their popularity back into the modern generation. So like the rest of you, I was very excited to see this movie. None of that streaming commercial garbage from Space Jam New Legacy or the films like the first Space Jam and Back in Action. This is a full 2D animated original Looney Tunes movie. But is it good? Yes. Yes it is. Just a heads up, if you still haven't seen this movie, I promise I will not go into spoiler territory. The movie focuses on Daffy Duck and Porky Pig, who were raised by a still image farmer named Jim when they were little. Now as adults living on their own after Jim faded to the sunlight, the duo has to raise the money to fix the roof in their house or else they'll fail the house inspection. They failed at multiple jobs because of Daffy's antics until they met Petunia Pig, who offers them to work with her at the gum factory. But little do they know that an alien is using the factory's new gum flavor for an upcoming invasion. So it's up to Daffy, Porky, and Petunia to take down the aliens' gum-controlling doomsday wrath and save their planet. So what I find very interesting about this movie when it was first announced that it's going to be a spoof of those 1950s sci-fi B movies, like Journey to the Center of the Earth and The Blob. Although I've never seen those movies, I know that they were meant to be a fun style cheesy films, and that's what The Day the Earth Blew Up is. As a Looney Tunes style sci-fi B movie, it's very entertaining from beginning to end. Since it's made by the same team that made the current Looney Tunes cartoons for Max, you can tell that the voice actors, the animators, and the writers were passionate Looney Tunes fans. They worked very hard on making this movie as a big homage to the classic cartoons as well, mainly from the Tex Avery and Bob Clampett shorts. The comedy is hilarious as you expected from the Looney Tunes, but they go all out on the comedy that not even the classic cartoons do. It also includes familiar gags that we remember from the shorts. What I find surprising in this film were two things. One is the twist, which again I'm not going to give away, but once they reveal the twist, I was shocked that it was related to one element that I forgot in the movie. The second is the heart of the movie, which is odd since heartfelt moments is very rare in the Looney Tunes media. One time I remember they tried to do something like that was in the campfire scene with Bugs and Daffy in Back in Action. The heart in this movie is pretty solid and way better than New Legacy, where it focuses on Porky and Daffy's relationship. If you've seen the shorts that features Daffy and Porky, then you know them as the dynamic comedic duo, where Daffy is the crazy one and Porky is the voice of reason. Throughout the film, Porky has to settle his brother-like relationship with Daffy from his uncontrollable antics and personality. All the while Daffy wants Porky not to hold him back and remind him that they always have to stick together is what Farmer Jim wants them to do. Keep in mind that this is a Looney Tunes movie, so don't expect it to have Pixar levels of emotion. But they still do a solid job of making you want to root for these two of working together to save their world and their brotherhood. As for the rest of the characters, there's Petunia Pig, who's an obscure Looney Tunes character who gets more appearances in recent years, and now has a major role in this movie. She's a scientist who loves to test out several flavors and is the love interest of Porky since the Looney Tunes show. It is nice to see her have a personality and be a good companion to the main duo. I also like the love chemistry between Porky and Petunia. They both have a lot in common, especially when she stutters like Porky whenever she gets nervous. And then there's the antagonist, the alien overlord, whose plan is to mix the new gum flavor and have the mind control the Earth for his master plan. He's a funny antagonist with his cartoony bad guy lines and his interaction with his dumb gum minion who possesses the scientist who appears in the beginning. The voice acting is spectacular. This is why we really need talented voice actors to be in a simple hour-and-a-half movie in theaters. No last-minute celebrity addition like they did in New Legacy, where they think LeBron James is not enough to be the only main star. Just real voice actors who know how to bring the voices of these characters to life. Eric Bowser is a big fan of the Looney Tunes like everyone else, and much like the current shorts, he knocked it out of the park. He's almost like the new Mel Blanc. Although, as much as I love his performance as Daffy, I'm not a fan of his performance as Porky. Bob Bergen has been the voice of Porky Pig for a very long time, and he can still perfect the voice, especially when he did the stuttering. Bowser, on the other hand, barely does the stuttering, and I know he's doing his best, but I don't think he can pull it off well.
This whole time I've been eating a pepperoni? I've been eating me. Daffy, I said no cracks. Oh, sorry.
The rest of the cast did an excellent job too. I even like Peter McNichol's performance as the alien, and I recently discovered that even Wayne Knights is in this movie. Man, I haven't heard from those guys in a while. The animation is amazing. It's great to see 2D animation again when the Bob's Burger movie brought it back in 2022. The animation is the same art style as the Max Looney Tunes shorts. The artists and animators go extra hard with the visuals and the humor. Like I said, the filmmakers wanted the movie to be an homage to the Tex Avery and Bob Clampett cartoons. And like the current shorts, they take the classic shorts and give them a modern HD quality upgrade. The highlights I give to the animation are the character designs and animation. They put in some great details on the facial expressions to make the visual humor funnier, and it doesn't come off as unsettling. There are a few moments when they show a different variety of visuals, and I like that. The Looney Tunes and Animaniacs are best known for their music, and the musical score in this movie is really good. Music is what also makes the comedy funnier depending on the timing and what's happening on the screen. They even had some good choices of licensed songs. I love when they play It's the End of the World by R.E.M. during the sequence when Porky and Petunia take down the gum zombies.
You know, if I had a nickel every time I heard this song in a movie where aliens invade Earth, and that was 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happens twice.
So are there any flaws that I have with this movie other than Eric Bauza's performance as Porky? Well, there are only 2 small issues. I wish the comedy could be a little bit more funnier, and aside from the 3 main characters, I wish that the other Looney Tunes characters could have cameos. But despite those few issues, The Day the Earth Blew Up is definitely the best Looney Tunes movie we ever got. The first Space Jam and Back in Action are alright, and New Legacy is just a soulless retread of the first one. This one is pure Looney Tunes. It's hilarious, the story is basic but a fun sci-fi adventure, it has some one of the best modern 2D animation in recent years, and the characters are spectacular as they are. It is a shame that the movie didn't get a lot of marketing to gain a lot of money, other than the animation community and animators kept praising and recommending the film to everyone. But this could be a sign that the Looney Tunes will finally get some more recommendation once when Coyote vs. Acme comes out. I of course highly recommend you to watch it even if you're not much of a Looney Tunes fan. I'm giving this movie the Fireflower medal. It is certainly one heck of a Looney experience. No pun intended. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to give this video a like, leave a comment on what you think of The Day the Earth Blew Up, and subscribe to my channel, where I review animation media, do some gaming, and a few other videos. For the next review, I'm going to talk about the 2 iconic British cartoon duos who made their comeback on Netflix. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
The duck?
That's right, the duck.
You gotta be kidding me. Who greenlit this garbage?